You know, I see a lot of people take things out of context from different programs, and then they'll ask me questions about it, and you can't really answer it unless you're looking at the entire context of the program. So, do I agree with that?
Get the fuck up! Simon says, get the fuck up! Throw your hands in the sky!
Louis Simmons says, the best way to deadlift is to leave it alone. What's your opinion? I trained with Louis for 14 years, so my opinion's pretty damn close to his. You gotta take this West Side stuff, and this is my biggest frustration when it comes to, you know, people quoting West Side Barbell and the conjugate system and Louis' take on the conjugate system or the concurrent system, or however you want to define it, is people take shit out of context. You know, you gotta have it, you gotta put it in context so you know what the fuck he's actually talking about when he's saying that. Because, you know, you can take a lot of things out of context and it doesn't even mean what's stated there. Louis made the point in the statement that if you pulled 500 pounds the first time you ever deadlifted, then what did you do to be able to pull 500 pounds? And anybody that's been around for a long time has heard him say that. And his reasoning for that is, you know, obviously you didn't deadlift, so it was all the other exercises that you did getting stronger to make you pull that 500 pounds. And I see where he's coming from that. Let me explain how we trained when I was there. And this is going back to 90 to 2005. Anything after that, you'd have to ask somebody else about. I wasn't there. I'm not going to comment on the training if I wasn't there to actually experience and be a part of it. We did some type of deadlift for our max effort exercise 20% of the time. So we trained max effort lower body on Mondays. So 20% of all Mondays of a year, we did some type of deadlift. Typically, it was a deficit deadlift or a pin pull. Those were pretty much the go-tos. I mean, they're the ones that were done the most. All the pin pulls were done from lower than knee level. Pin 3 was the highest that we would pull off of. So there was the max effort, the straining part of building the deadlift was done there. Later through the years, about half my time there, we started to do speed pulls after our dynamic squat workout. And those were between 40 and 50% with bands. And that was 10 singles. And you can call it dynamic work, which is what I call it, using the dynamic effort method to train the deadlift. Or you can just call it technique work. I don't give a shit what you call it. That's what we did. So that was working 10 singles, where if you want to call it technique work and you want to look at it as being technique work, that was 10 opportunities to practice our first rep in the deadlift. We didn't do triples, doubles, fives, or anything like that, because the second rep is usually always different than the first. So if somebody's deadlift program involves them working up and doing 2 sets of 5, they're actually really only doing 2 first reps. So in comparison, if we're doing 10 first reps, we're working our technique far more than the person that's doing the 2 sets of 5. Does it make it right? Does it make it wrong? No, it's just different. It's different training styles. Now, what we did do is, remember when I said you need to keep everything in context? All I'm talking about is the actual deadlift type training that we did. There's so much more going on with the training to help build the deadlift, as far as the hamstring work that was being done 4 to 8 times per week, you know, including the sled dragging. The box squat, sitting back on the box, that's hamstrings. You know, using a safety squat bar the way that we were using it, with a close stance and real with a rounded back close stance pretty much is the same thing as a deadlift. If you look at it from the mechanical standpoint, it's just the bars on your back instead of in your hands. Then all the accessory exercises to build up the muscles that pull, the lower back with the reverse hyperglute ham raises and the hamstrings and so forth. So the whole program is designed around building the squat, bench, and deadlift. Keep it in context. If you're going to quote anybody's program, not just Louie's, I see a lot of people take things out of context from different programs, and then they'll ask me questions about it, and you can't really answer it unless you're looking at the entire context of the program. So, do I agree with that? I don't think it's important if I agree or if I don't agree. If my honest answer is yes, I agree, but I don't think that matters. I think what matters is what works for you. Because the one thing that everybody knows, is there's, multiple ways to train. There's multiple training methods that work. So if it's a method that works for you, then keep using the method and modify the method as long as you can continue to keep getting stronger using it. Is it the best method? Let me throw the question back. Is there any best method? I don't think that is up to me to answer. I think it's up to the individual to answer. I certainly would hope that Louie would say it's the best method, just as I would hope that Jim Wendler would say 5-3-1 is the best method. Because if it's the person that created the method and I'm going to use that method or I'm going to use that person as a coach, I want that motherfucker to believe with 100% that what they're doing is 100% the best way to get it done. Because if there's any doubt in that, I don't want to work with the person. So that's the overall answer with that. So, yes and no.
Throw your hands in the sky. Weezer's in the back, sipping yak, yo, what's up?